Well, what a night in Poland. Robert Lambert, take a bow. He went to Lodz for the first ever Grand Prix at the Motor Arena and delivered a superb performance to take down the final, ending a 2-year SGP drought, and in doing so, blew this year's World Championship wide open. Baldur Smarslik missed out on the final for the first time this year, and Brady Kearse has matched him at the top with 109, and Lambert's triumph puts him right on their tails at 101. 8 points separating the top three with just 3 rounds to go. We've got a proper 3-horse title race at the moment by the looks of things. But as things look still good, As things look good on the international circuit, news close at home keeps us firmly grounded, put some sugar in it, and quite frankly, a little bit worried. Sheffield. Tigers management put together a massive initiative earlier in the season to capture the next generation of fans, making a staggering 10,000 free tickets available for local kids. A superb idea on paper, but the club recently revealed that despite all of the publicity, only 300 of those tickets have actually been taken up. It's a stark, troubling figure that underlines just how hard clubs are having to battle to get fresh eyes through the turnstiles. If free speedo for kids isn't moving the needle, where do we go from here? And meanwhile, we look at Workington. Team manager James Denham announced this week he will be stepping down at the end of the season, and there are now grave doubts over the future of Speedway, or League Speedway, at Northside, with soaring insurance, medical bills and running costs, leaving it potentially financially unviable. Only in Speedway.
Definitely.
Yeah, sort of like where we left off last week, really.
Yep. And the week before.
And the week before that.
Yeah. And the year before.
Yeah, and the year, yeah.
And the decade before. So.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about more pleasing things, shall we, for a bit? Although there are problems with that as well. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So, a great Grand Prix. Well, not a great Grand Prix, a good Grand Prix.
It was a good meeting, yeah. It was, first time I've seen any Speedway at that venue.
Mm-hmm.
Looks a good venue as well. And it produced some good racing. And obviously the World Championship, I think, now blown wide open. Lambert's had 2 second places and obviously now a win. So really he's been the form rider in the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. Maybe Brady Kearse will probably look at it as a missed opportunity because... it's very, 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 very unusually below par. Smarslik looked down on power all the way through the meeting, didn't he? Just looked slow.
Just didn't look at the races at all, and looked worried as well.
Yeah, I don't know what his record is like at Lodz. They're not in the top league as far as they're not in the top league in Poland, so I don't think it's a track that he rides that regularly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he'll be a bit concerned by that. But there's really an argument that Kurtz led him off the hook, but as I say, the big winner really was Lambert. It does feel that as much as it was a huge blow obviously at the start of the season to lose Dan Bewley because he looked like he was on for a sensational campaign.
He really did, yeah.
But has this sort of given because all the attention now from a British perspective is going to be on Lambert, and it seems to have given him a real boost, doesn't it? After a poor season last year. It's looking promising for him, and he'll be thinking, it's only 8 points to make him on the top 2. That's more than doable. So,
well, he's made up a lot more than that up to now. So he's got 3 meetings left. Am I right?
Yeah, we've got Latvia coming up, then Voyens, and then the final Grand Prix, of course, is Torun.
Mm-hmm. Talking a bit about Bartosz Marslik, I mean, he looked desperate at times. He pulled some moves which were borderline, shall we say. One in particular I can think of when he was sort of leaning on somebody coming off into the fence.
Yeah.
He looks a bit, he's got the pressure of the world on him, hasn't he?
I think so, yeah. There's been a few times when I think you could probably say with Smarslik that he's maybe pushed it to the limit a little bit, but
this just looked. He always looks in control.
Yeah,
but this looked desperate.
Yeah,
that's how I read it anyway.
You got that feeling that a rider when they know that they just haven't got the speed to compete, then they maybe start taking a few more chances, don't they? Obviously, we had another incident with Casper Verena again, with involving. It was involving again. It was
I actually can't remember myself. It's got. I know we had a couple of instances with Mr. Frick.
Yep. Cabrera. Sorry, it's got it with
Cabrera,
yeah. Obviously, it was with Cabrera, which I can't work out whether is it just maybe not sort of reading the situation a little bit very well, or because there's been comparisons. You're starting to get comparisons now with Nicky Pedersen. Obviously, Pedersen as a rider was obviously more successful than Vereen has been so far. But yeah, I mean, it certainly livens up the series because I do think you need that rider that
Absolutely. I mean, it's always okay. When's Verena in? Oh, that'll be a good one. It's that sort of vibe, isn't it? But I think, is he a dirty rider? Because that was always the accusation levelled against Nicky Pedersen, or is he just too enthusiastic? Because he's certainly that. Come on.
I think as a rider, I mean, obviously it's a big thrill for him to be riding in the Grand Prix, and of course, obviously let's not forget he actually won the first round, didn't he, in Germany? It seems ages ago now since that opening night in Landshut. But maybe it's a case of just putting I mean he's fearless. You can't deny that. I mean, as you say, when he's on the track, you can't keep an eye on him. I do think the Grand Prix needs a rider like that, but it's probably not going to be so popular with a lot of the other the other riders in the field, because there's been a couple of instances really that have been he's been pretty close to really causing some real damage, and it's okay until somebody gets hurt.
I mean, he's been lucky on that.
Of course, it's potential. Of course, the person who could get hurt could be himself. So
I mean,
obviously, we don't want to happen.
Let's be honest. Cabrera was really lucky.
Yeah,
I mean, that was not a nice accident. He didn't want to see that at all.
No. Yeah, I don't like it when I see riders turning across someone down the street. No. I've seen riders do that before. I think looking at it with the benefit of hindsight, I think that was a dirty move, to be honest.
But it wasn't clean anyway. No. Let's perhaps put it that way. So anybody's who would you put your money on at this point?
Well, 8 points. I mean, obviously, you only get two. I mean, I suppose the biggest frustration for Lambert was he's only made 2 points up on the leader, of course, in Kurt. Well, 4 points up on the leader in Kurt. So there's not a huge difference between. He's still going to need. I mean, Smarslik. I think you need Smarslik and Kurt as well to have a Grand Prix where they maybe don't make the final and win one, and then he's really in with a shout. I mean, obviously, I suppose
it's happened. I mean, he's won one Grand Prix this year.
Yep.
And I think has he had a second place as well?
Yeah, he's had 2 second places. He's got 56 points in the last 2 Grand Prix out of 60. So it's.
I was talking about Bartok, but he's only had 1 Grand Prix.
Yeah, he's won one. He won the very wet Roslev Grand Prix, didn't he?
So it's not been a vintage Bartok Smarslik's performance season where you think, well, there isn't really anybody else in there.
It's not been vintage, but he's still there, isn't
still
he?
There,
you can never ever write him off. So,
you're now going to write him off?
No, I certainly won't write him off. There's no reason why he won't come back and win a couple of the last 3 Grand Prix and maybe take it away.
But you said exactly the same last year, and Brady Kurtz, of course.
It's a slightly different pressure on Smarslik this year, of course, because winning it would be the first one to win 7 championships. Yeah. Obviously, he's currently level with Major and Rick Hartson, so there's a slightly different pressure on him. And be interesting to see how it pans out. But I think we've got a really potentially exciting end. Well, we have got an exciting.
It's a 3-way
season. I don't think anybody would have expected that at the start. So I think we thought it was either going to be Smarslik or Kurtz again.
And of course, Kurtz is in the box seat really at the moment.
Kurtz has been there before, but obviously he'll not getting over the line. He didn't quite manage to do it last season. He had a great run. Obviously, the last 5 Grand Prix in a row, and but ultimately just wasn't quite able to make up the ground. On Smarslik, so, but I think that I'll look at that there, and I wonder whether that performance from Kurtz last season has given a lot of riders a real bit of a boost, because prior to that they would have looked at Smarslik and think, well, psychologically he just can't.
I wonder if I can get second.
Yeah. But there's a possibility now. that, well, I think, as I say, it's a 3-horse race, Kurt Smolsdick or Lambert. I'd still probably go for Kurtz or Smolsdick. I think obviously they've got the points in the bag, haven't they? So and maybe now Lambert is going to lose that element of surprise because I still think, it's only his second Grand Prix win of his career. A rider of his calibre should be winning more Grand Prix than that.
Absolutely. But looking forward. It's next weekend, isn't it? The next one. So
is it? I think it is. Yeah.
I think it is next weekend.
Yes, it is. It's the 8th of August, the Riga in Latvia. So
I should be looking forward to seeing that one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. Dave James says, have you seen Workington's not running in 2027?
Yes, that does look to be the case.
Okay.
Doesn't it? Obviously, as I said in my start, obviously James Denham has announced that he's not going to be... He's going to stay as team manager until the end of the season.
But that's not definitive, not going to run.
But it's certainly the vibe of the interview that he gave. I think it was on one of the local papers up in Cumbria. The vibe certainly seems to be not looking very promising for them. It would be a real shame. There's a lot of hard work went into work.
Absolutely.
I just wonder whether maybe they went up into the championship a little bit too early because they were one very good season back in the National League. Well, I think really it was forced upon them because of the, losing too many clubs in the top 2 leagues has sort of forced them to where they had to go up.
But if they then have to fold again, it's not good.
Well,
it's not good.
It is. Let's not forget, of course, the last time they folded, obviously with Durban Park, was the season after they won the treble.
Won the treble, yeah.
And it says it all. They won the treble, and they still couldn't make it pay. So.
Speedway is a weird sport in that way, isn't it? It actually costs you more money to win the thing than it does to the nature of the beast.
What's the phrase someone said to me once? It punishes success and rewards failure almost, doesn't it? So
I wouldn't say it rewards failure, but it certainly punishes success. Talking of success, we were going to have a little talk about Paul Speedway this weekend.
Indeed, yes.
Did you get anything?
I did, yep.
Okay, because I've got some stuff, but I think yours is probably going to be better.
Right, so, Poole started, 1948 was the year that it was first established, and of course, they've only ever rode at Wimborne Road. Started off obviously in Division 3, and of course they had early legends. Ken Middleditch, of course, was obviously probably the most prominent one, Tony Lewis as well. They won their first league championship in 1951 as well. So,
which league was that?
That was the 3rd division.
Okay.
Yep. So, made steady progress throughout the 50s and the 60s. Of course, a definitive year for them was 1969 when they won the first ever top flight championship. They didn't have a big hitter in that team either. It was a very, very. I think their highest average was about 8, something like that. I think they had riders like Mike Cake and Jeff Mudge and Odd Fossigen and riders like that, but they managed to win the championship through being really solid all the way through. Didn't quite maintain that moving forward. Obviously, probably the rider in the 70s that you would most associate with Paul, of course, would be Malcolm Simmons. He was a very, very classy rider. Clearly one of the best riders of the 1970s. Probably should have won a world championship. You obviously saw him ride.
I've seen him ride. He was a very classy rider.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so didn't quite maintain that, and then gradually sort of slipped down in the 80s to the point where I think 85 was the season they didn't come back. They didn't race in the top flight. They obviously, I can't remember whether they had a year out. They either had a year out or they just went straight down into the lower league. Mm-hmm. They had Michael Lee, of course, in their last top flight side in 84. Of course, I think that was the year he got suspended. And a very young Samuel Malenko made his first laps on British Speedway riding for Paul.
I did not know that.
In 84, yeah. So, but of course, they got back into the top flight about 91, I think it was, and then won another league championship in 94. I do remember that one. I think they had Craig Boyce was their top rider that season. Again, another solid season that year. But I think obviously things then changed for Paul. 99, I didn't realise it was this long ago. 99 was when Matt Ford took over as Paul, and of course that completely transformed Paul for whatever people's thoughts on that era. Obviously, for Paul, it was a wonderful era there.
You can't argue with the success.
Absolutely not. And I remember watching some of the early Sky matches in '99, 2000, and particularly at Paul. There was you could sense even on the telly. There was a real vibe and a buzz about the place. There was to be fair, there was a lot of that, a lot of tracks at that time. The excitement of being back on TV. Tony Rickardson, of course, then signed for Paul. I think it was 2001, and won his 4th and 5th league championships there, and really became it was a massive figure at Poole at the time. Of course, this was obviously before Bournemouth were in the Premier League, so Speedway at the time was huge in that area. And then won the league then 2003 and 2004, and then of course dominated the 2010s. They won another championship in 2008, 2011, 2013, 2014, 2015, and then obviously their last top flight title was 2018. And of course, I suppose in that era, the two riders that were most synonymous with them were the Turbo Twins, obviously Chris Holder and Darcy Ward.
Yeah.
And of course, it came with then as a surprise that they dropped down into the championship in 2020, but they've continued that level of success, haven't they? They've won, I think they won the League and Cup double in 21 and 22, and obviously won back-to-back titles again in 24 and 25. Obviously, they had that championship win, of course, in that thrilling final at the end of last season against Glasgow Tigers. So it's a really, I think you can sum from Paul, is that they've sort of started off in the lower leagues, gradually built it up, but it's only really in the last 20, 25 years that they've really sort of established themselves as one of the big powerhouses in British Speedway. I've never actually been to Wimborne Road. It is, a track that I wouldn't mind going to at some point.
It's just such a long way.
Yeah, it is a long way. It's one of those tracks where you've got to go on holiday. We've got to be going down there on holiday, haven't you? Something like that. So, yeah.
Actually, I say I haven't been. I have been there, but way back in the 1970s.
Yep.
I went and visited on holiday, as it happens, with my dad, bless him.
Yep.
I remember nothing about it. Far too young. Okay, so what we would love to hear from you guys, obviously everything else that we normally do, you're already getting messages up on the shout box. Thank you for that. Phil Taylor says, but they couldn't beat Plymouth last Saturday.
Yeah, I thought that might go down well with Phil. So.
Give us your memories of either when Paul's visited, or your favourite Paul rider, or a Paul rider that's made the most impression on you. That sort of thing, and I will start because you know where I'm going to go straight to, don't you? Yeah, 2013.
Yep.
It hurt at the time, but it's like I said, oh come on, it still hurts. It's like I said, you can't argue with the success that they have, and part of the hurt is jealousy. You would like to think that. Well, so, for those that don't know, Chris Holder was injured, and all of a sudden they pulled out for the last few matches. Something which I don't think they'd be allowed to do now.
No, that definitely would be.
They signed a certain Mr. Greg Hancock.
Yeah,
and we was number one in the league at the time, and then they signed Greg Hancock, and all of a sudden Paul could beat anybody at that point.
I was at Brandon that night because Wolves were there. And I remember that being announced over the tannoy, and a lot of people around us said, Paul have won the league.
Straight away.
Straight away, because, if there was a chance that they were going to, in fairness to Matt Ford, whether people like him or not, if there was a chance that they were going to miss out on it, he would act. Yeah. And obviously his son is the main runner there now.
So it was hard to take as a Birmingham supporter, very hard to take, because, we'd been the best team all season. We'd beaten Paul.
Yeah.
I think we'd beaten them away as well. I'm half certain about that. But so jealousy, of course. Annoyed, of course. Never wanted to see Paul again, of course.
Yeah.
But you can't argue with that sort of success. So that's my. And I also have a memory of the first time that I saw Chris Holder.
Yeah.
He was actually riding for Kings Lynn, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't. No, it was Isle of Wight.
Yeah.
It's the Isle of Wight. He was right. He was riding for the Isle of Wight, and
of course, I forgot he rode there.
Yeah.
Crikey.
And I can't remember that it was 2007 or 2008. I'd never seen anybody go into the corner at that point anyway. I've seen it a few times since, but like Chris Holder did, which was obviously in the entry to the corner on the fence, there's always like a big divot of shale.
Yeah.
And he was just shoving his back wheel into that, bang, and launching off it to go around the corner and just go so much faster than anybody else. And I was like, oh, okay, I've never seen that before. Because obviously I was on the track and was able to see it. So, yeah, that impressed me. And, of course, they then went on to become world champion.
Yep.
They've had a few world champions, of course, but probably the most famous,
Tony Ricard. Well, certainly the most successful one. Six titles.
Is the one that Mr. Smarslick is currently trying to beat. And
yeah, I mean, one memory for it's not really linked. It's linked with Paul Speed, but not the club. It's more the venue. Obviously, that's the World Cup final in 2004, and Hans Andersen's decision to team ride the Swedes to win to help them win the final. It's probably the best chance Britain have had since the last World Cup win in '89 to get that gold medal. And there was a lot of anger at the time. I remember it because I think the following meeting, because Hans Andersen was riding for Ipswich at the time, and I think they were due to race the following night, and he was withdrawn from the meeting because they just knew that there was going to be a lot of. I know when we had Scott Nichols on during COVID, I mean, obviously he talked about that, and I think he was obviously the British rider in that very race.
He was not best pleased.
He wasn't. I mean, ironically as well, of course, they were teammates at Ipswich. So, but yeah, I mean, that's obviously one thing. It's as I say. I mean, obviously, it's they are love them or loathe them. They're a club that you can't ignore, aren't they? Certainly in recent times, and I suppose they show the benefit of promoting your sport well. And they have promoted it well. Generally at Poole, they've always, had strong teams. They've had a good catchment area. They've always had a very good fan base. Even in the years they've dropped into the Championship, they still get good crowds.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Right, well, catch up a little bit on the shout box. Who do we think will finish fourth in the Premiership playoffs? As I think it will go down to the wire. I think it's probably easier to work out who won't.
Well, there's more teams that won't, more teams that will that won't. That's what's frustrating about the top league. I mean, I think we're all pretty much of the opinion that Bellevue and Leicester are already there. Let's just do a quick clarification on the table. Of course, Bellevue, very, very big win against Leicester, obviously on 61-29. That's the same result they had in the A fixture. And they've got two fixtures left at home. That's Kingsley on August the 10th, and then on the bank holiday they've got Sheffield, and you would certainly back them to win both of those matches. They've still got to go to Ipswich, they've still got to go to Leicester, they've still got to go to Northampton, and they've still got to go to Sheffield. So they're in prime position. So they're on 26, Leicester 19, Sheffield 16, Kingsley 14, and Ipswich 14. So I mean, the one thing that probably will go against Kingsley, I think they've only got 2 home matches left so far.
Right.
Before the end of this season. Let me just.
And they haven't really travelled.
August the 24th, they've got Ipswich. That could be a huge meeting. I mean, it's going to be a big meeting anyway because there's a big rivalry between the two sides. But particularly if there's a last shot, there's a shot at the last playoff place up for grabs. Ipswich have still got plenty of matches left, though. Ipswich have still got a race against Bellevue. They've still got Leicester. They've still got Northampton and Sheffield all to come to Foxhall. And apart from Kings Lynn, they've also got to go to Leicester, and they've also got to go to Northampton. So Kings Lynn, just that one home meeting. They've still got to go to Bellevue. They've still got to go to Northampton. They've still got to go to Sheffield. So, yeah. So it's going to. I think that one could go all the way down to the wire, couldn't it?
I think you got to say obviously Bellevue, Leicester. I think probably Ipswich,
Sheffield.
And Sheffield.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, Sheffield 16, Kings Lynn and Leicester on 14 points at the moment. So
I think that's going to be a top 4, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, I was probably just put. I mean, Ipswich had a bit of a sticky run, didn't they, in recent weeks? That sort of pushed them down after a good start to the season.
They just lost the Knockout Cup, of course.
Yeah,
which we should say well done to Leicester for.
absolutely. Yep.
Nice to see. On a day we're talking about Paul, it's nice to see somebody else winning a trophy. Leicester versus Kings Lynn to be rearranged early September, home and away, says Elliot. Going back to Paul for just a second, somebody by the name of Brian Buck, I don't know who he is, but one unwanted, and somebody's going to have to go and do some research now. One unwanted record Paul have is that a rider was killed in the first ever race at the stadium in 1948.
Yeah, do you remember when we had Phil Lanning on the show? Because I think he said that his dad, that was his dad's first ever meeting, was that one.
Right, yeah.
That does ring a bell, yeah.
I can't remember his name without looking it up, but it was a sad tragedy. So all you sleuths out there.
I think if Brian's written it, it's probably true.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's true. It would be nice to know the name of the rider.
I should say we have got a photograph somewhere of my dad in a Pool race jacket. It's a cycle speedo race jacket. I remember him showing me. He actually showed me not long before the that 2013 player final. I said I'd keep that hidden if I were you, Dad. I've got it We've got it somewhere else to try and see if I can dig it out.
We need to see.
Yeah, he was guesting for Paul because obviously he did cycle speedway as well. So.
Simon Corbett says, went down there many times with Cradley, stayed B&B. Michael Lee, John Davis were riding for Paul. We honoured them 51-27.
You know, when I first saw that, I looked at 51-27. I thought they were the years that he went down.
27. Okay.
51 and 1927.
Wow.
Well, he's old.
Yeah, but they didn't start until 1948, so yeah. Okay.
I think we're caught up.
Have we caught up?
We're caught up. You've just done that one?
No, I haven't. Evening, gents. Another thriller at Ashfield and expect another at the Dump this Friday. Well done, Mike. Sitting on the fence got you the correct result. Yes, it did. And there was also a bit earlier on, actually, somebody mentioned about, really early. It's a bit earlier than that.
And I think
Yeah, you need to go back a bit because there was a few that we missed.
We've done that one.
Yeah, keep going again. There was. I just want to get the name.
That one?
Yes, I said Jeff Daniels says his evening chap's still in shock from finishing top points score in the predictions league. Okay, so I got 2 draws on the trot, and I still haven't finished top point score.
Yeah, I think you have finished a couple of weeks where you have been at the top.
Have you noticed how keen he is?
Yeah, yes. Oh, yes.
Don't forget, he was actually top of the table for about 3 weeks.
He hasn't wanted to know for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
We've been doing this 10 years. I don't think so. There was a few more there. There was a thing about Tate Zish who's had
another bad accident. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to.
You had that program.
Yeah. And we've mentioned it anyway.
Yeah.
Just get better soon, mate. And I don't know what hope he's okay after a nasty incident for Workington on Sunday against Berwick, said Phil Taylor. I actually haven't heard any reports. Reg Craven, I'm presuming that is the name of the unfortunate rider that lost his life.
Yeah.
None of you predicted Buxton to win on Sunday, says Pete Clark.
I think some people did. None of us.
None of us. No, yeah. I think it was a good result for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The much needed one as well.
And as you said, I think it was Pete that nominated Jack Robertson as Rider of the Week. He's done really well. Yeah, Rage Craven was the rider who died in 1948. Fred Graham says, not great information, news coming out of Workington last week. Hopefully things get turned around as it's a great venue and don't want another track lost to the sport.
Well, I think we'd all echo that, but it's, I must admit now I've got grave doubts about Sheffield. They've obviously been quite open about the fact that they're struggling to get people through the gates. And as I said earlier, obviously 10,000 tickets made available for kids, only 300 of them have been taken up.
Whoa.
That's
not a good uptake, is it? Really?
it's pretty poor, isn't it? Really, so.
It's not a great stat at all, particularly in the holidays.
Yeah, in a big city like Sheffield as well. So where there's been...
Yeah, but you can just go back up one. There was one there that I wanted to... Oh, no, I've already read that one. Okay, Tate Zish had a concussion, no broken bones, luckily out for 9 days. So that's good news. After last winter's debacle, I wonder if the BSPL are more organised already for this winter for the 2027 season. What with the rumblings of Workington maybe not running in Sheffield, small crowds apparently, will 2027 be one league or 1.5 leagues again? It's getting close. It's getting close.
Well, I thought we were told that they were going to start planning for 2027 early after what happened during the close season. We haven't heard anything come out yet.
Not likely to.
No.
That's never been.
I mean, I would say the fact that last season they were perfectly prepared to run a top flight with 5 teams had Northampton not been sorted out. To me, that would say everything you need to know.
The way things are going, there's going to be not many teams left in the championship either.
Well, we've only got 9 at the moment, which is the lowest it's been for a long time. As I say. Oxford, of course, I mean, they obviously had they had a few problems earlier in the season. That now seems to have sorted itself out. Obviously we've been talking about Poole. We're still hearing rumours about Poole, about the fact that the stadium is being earmarked for potential redevelopment at some point in the future. Edinburgh as well. I mean, obviously Edinburgh still don't know what the long-term future is for them at Armadale. I mean, at one point, of course, they had actually released plans to build a new venue, hadn't they? And then that got scuppered. It's just a bit of it's really worrying at the moment. I've never known an era where there's been such a systematic decline across all 3 leagues, to be honest. There's always been a period where the top flight looks the strongest, then the National League goes strong, and then in the middle tier. But at the moment, it just seems all 3 leagues at the moment. I mean, a championship, you've got a premiership with 6 teams where there's no variety at all. A championship where, I mean, you look. I mean, I've got the championship table in front of me. I mean, the big success story of the championship season so far has been Scunthorpe. As I say, nobody predicted Scunthorpe to be doing this well. They're top, obviously, on 11, with Edinburgh after 11 matches with 17 points. Edinburgh 17 from 10. Then you've got Poole and Glasgow both on 16, Redcar 14, Berwick 12, Plymouth 12, Oxford 9, and Workington 7. So already those bottom 2 sides sort of cut well adrift already, aren't they? So, which is
been there.
Yeah.
We should talk about Northampton. Actually, there's been some changes at Northampton. Troy Batchelor's out, and Matty Zagar.
Yep.
And I'm trying to remember who the replacements were.
Well, Adam Ellis is one.
Adam Ellis, yes. That was for Matty Zagar.
Yep.
Would you say that's a good swap? Better swap, a worse swap?
Well, I think Adam Ellis will certainly have a point to prove, won't he? So, I mean, obviously, was part of Ipswich's successful team last season, found himself on the sidelines at the start of the year. Quite damning, really, that you've got a British rider can't get a team place in his own country. And Mitch McDermott, of course, the young Australian, obviously he, I was quite impressed with him when I watched the footage of the Australian Championship. Very similar certainly in terms of his leather style and obviously racing style to Lee Adams as well, which is very high praise. Lee Adams was a very classy rider, as you will know. Not particularly surprised with Zagar obviously leaving and obviously Batchelor going as well.
Batchelor was surprised.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I saw a thing on Facebook from him, and I think he was surprised because he said he's been working hard to get his leg back in shape, and he was actually, I think, going to be back on the bike this week.
Yeah, and then gets told he's out. So so. It's an interesting one. I mean, obviously Northampton not sitting on their laurels. They've done pretty well the last few weeks, haven't they? They've had some pretty good results. I mean, they got 6 points so far. I mean, then I think they were always going to finish bottom of the table because one, because the season started so late for them and it took so long to organise. But I think they'll be reasonably happy with what they've achieved so far. Be interesting to see what their crowds have been like as well, how they've held up. I mean, obviously with every single club, you're always going to get an initial spike on, then it sort of finds its level, doesn't it? Really.
You just hope it's a high level.
Yeah. So,
but
yeah,
I think the crowds have been okay from what I've heard.
Yeah, I mean if I'm just looking at their results, they've had wins they've beaten Leicester, and they've beaten Kings. Then they've got a draw against Sheffield. Their home matches remaining, of course, they've got Bellevue, Ipswich, Kings Lynn, and Leicester still to come. So not Sheffield. And away from home, they've got Ipswich away and Sheffield away still to go before their season. So I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs. I think that's pretty clear they're not going to make the playoffs, but they'll be pleased that they've sort of put some building blocks in place for maybe improving their side next season. And of course, fortunately, they'll have more time to prepare as well. It'll just be interesting to see what sort of league they're preparing to be in.
Well,
so.
Yeah, you say that I have more time to prepare. We don't necessarily know that because we don't know what's going to happen, and that BSPL are not known for making decisions quickly.
Yeah.
Mitch McDermott guest rode for Bellevue last night, 8 paid 9. Also, he'd never rode there before. Very impressive.
Good little rider. Yeah, as I say, I saw a lot of him in that Australian Championship.
Have a think about your rider of the week as well. We've had one nomination, Jack Roberts, so have a think about that.
Okay.
Rider of the week and Paul Rider of the ever.
Yeah.
I try to best ever Paul Rider. That's that. That's
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
So this is more bad news for British Speedway, of course. Next season, Poland. This is from Jeff Daniels. Poland is restricting all riders to one league apart from Poland, obviously. So the likes of Zach Cook, etc., can only ride in one British league. No doubling up. I mean, I don't know whether that's true that I can't double up.
I watched that interview that you mentioned to me with Richard Coleman, and he did mention that, and I got the impression that he doesn't think that's going to be such a bad thing, because I mean he's big. One of his big things at the moment. I mean, he's been quite vocal that he thinks that there's about the problems facing by British Speedway at the moment. But
well, you can see why I had my little tirade last week and where that came from.
Yeah, I mean he thinks that there needs to be a bigger gap between the top two leagues, which
he does, yeah.
I think you could probably argue is because. You look at the Premiership at the moment; it is pretty much the Championship, with just a couple of big stars in it.
The only problem that you got because of the way, and he touched upon this, because of the way that the league is run, the power lies with the Championship.
Yep,
and they ain't going to want to lose those riders.
That's it.
So it's going to be interesting to see how. But he's also, I would imagine, Richard Coleman's going to be in a position if likes of Workington and Sheffield and so on are not there. He's not going to want to have Ipswich in a pretend league. I think
the other thing as well, of course, is that obviously with the rules on new promotions, he's not allowed to have a say or a vote for the first 2 years, which I think is a nonsense, really.
Yeah, if you're running your business,
you don't get a say. It's just but that's just my opinion anyway. So
yeah. I've always thought that it's a way of keeping it into this old man's club.
Yeah.
As we keep saying, it's the way Speedway is run. Very obviously, is not right.
Yeah,
because the sport's just going down and down and down and down. It probably wouldn't be running now if it hadn't been for the Sky money that propped it up for those few decades.
The Sky money that wasn't invested properly. As I've said before. So
we've had a couple of Rider of the Weeks. Robert Lambert being
I would go for Robert Lambert.
That's not a bad shout. Jai Etheridge. I think I probably would go with Robert Lambert as well. Part of me wants to say Casper Warima, but I might get shot. When Speedway matches are on BSN, the crowds always drops dramatically to normal. I don't think this is good for the home teams. Do you think? I mean, I can't because I haven't been to a Speedway match this year. I don't think it's a good thing for us not to have some sort of television coverage.
Yeah,
Because how do other people find out about it?
Yeah, the only thing with BSN, of course, is they are preaching to the converted, aren't they? So because they're you won't look for BSN if you're not a Speedway fan. So
To me, it's a nonsense that we're not on BBC or ITV or Channel 5 or Channel 4. It's just ridiculous that
is
we're not on
anybody
these.
going to those stations and asking the questions? Though?
Well, I don't know. Because this sport is made for television if it's done right.
Yeah, that was who said that was Bernie
Eccleston.
said that, didn't they? So
And he knows a thing or two.
It knows a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, just a little bit. Darren says it's little wonder the tracks are closing. Tracks are closing because this sport is it's just not promoted right. How can it be? We have got a sport. I'm going over old ground now, but we have got a sport that is exciting, has colourful characters that you can see and interact with.
yeah,
That has probably the best racing in motorsport, and I know some people disagree with that, but if you go on the number of passes that you're going to see in most Speedway matches against the number of passes that people, there was 2 passes in that Grand Prix. I'm talking about F1. There is no, and if you get a bad race, there's another one coming 60 seconds later.
yeah.
You've got you can see. You can go to a meeting and you can see the whole of the race, the whole of every single race without a problem. Of course, this sport is promoted wrong. We've got all the advantages. It's a cheap sport. Yes, I said it's a cheap sport. A tyre for a Speedway rider, what, £65? You start going up to amateur racing, £1,200.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's just interesting comment regards to what Team GB selection should be in Speedway Star last week. I agree that perhaps we should draw a line under this year's World Cup and give the youngsters experience.
I think you pick the strongest team possible.
Yeah, always.
Personally. So
Always. You certainly bring along other riders for the experience. You can have, yes, come. You're not in the team, but come and see how it works and all that. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, strongest always.
Yeah, I think that's been a positive in recent seasons. That's the performance of the national team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Winning 2 Speedway Nations, albeit both on home soil, and obviously finishing runner-up in the World Cup in 2023. So.
That's my personal opinion anyway. Just you pick your strongest team. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure we know what our strongest team is.
But it's rather decimated, isn't it? I mean, obviously losing Dan Bewley is a huge blow. Obviously Lambert's going to be carrying the fight. I don't think, even if Ty Wolfman hadn't retired, I don't think he would have been in the squad anyway. So.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he would wanted to have been from and the perennial question every week, what happened to Harry Redknapp?
Yeah, every week.
With his big ideas in writing the
section
profile of Speedway.
Yeah, I saw him on the news upsetting a few people the other day, so probably best if Speedway stays clear of that. So.
Yes. No, I don't know. What the hell was that about? Is that just a jolly?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What can you say?
I'm speechless. Doesn't happen very often. Okay. Looking at the time, I think we probably should start looking at the Prediction League.
Yep.
Okay. I just say
but please keep your comments coming. Just because we're doing the Prediction League, we will. Yeah, and we will highlight things. And still looking for comments about your favourite pool rider or even your unfavourite pool rider.
Fred Graham says, can we see Ipswich doing something radical and joining the Polish League if British Speedway is on decline? I was told by somebody last year at Perry Bar that he wouldn't. Don't be too surprised if in the next couple of years that Glasgow and Bellevue moved into the party because they're both FIM tracks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they would be allowed to.
I mean, it's an interesting. It leaves every other team out in the cold.
It does, yeah. But if they want to put themselves first.
Might be a way of, because obviously the Polish fans would come and support their team in.
Well, do you remember it was about 15 years ago when Kingsley rode a challenge meeting against, I think it was Zelina Gora, and I think they had their biggest crowd in about 30 years. And this was a challenge race again. They brought loads over. They brought coach loads over. So
Jason Doyle is guesting for Sheffield at number 1 on Thursday.
yes, I did see that. Yep. So there's the table. Then it's just been it's just gone up.
Oh, yeah, the cameras are there.
Yep.
So you
Okay,
take first. There we go.
Oh, good God.
So you're still battling away in the top 6.
Oh.
I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
I'm in front of Elliot. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
Sorry, Elliot. I'm happy. But yeah, I mean, Mr. Brian Buck in
Still
second
going
place.
well. Yeah. Didn't have as good as week last week, but
Still there.
yeah.
I don't know if you can see that.
I can't. My eyes. No. Are you joking?
And Webby's down there in 16th on 104.
Moving on.
Yep. It's not been your best season.
No. I've been unlucky.
What? Not knowing enough.
A bit thick.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, then. So we'll start off with this week's fixtures. I have posted the link in the Facebook feed as well. So the first one is tomorrow night in the Championship, and that is Oxford against Scunthorpe.
It's up to you first, Chris.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oxford by 4.
Scunthorpe by 4.
I'll go Scunthorpe by 6 on that one. Okay, meanwhile, down on the south coast, we've been talking about them most of the show, of course. Poole against Edinburgh. We'll be doing the draw short as well as to who we're going to be talking about next week as well, I'm willing.
Okay.
It's up to me, isn't
Yep.
it? Poole by 10.
Poole by 16.
Paul by 12.
Okay. Moving on into the Premiership, it's Sheffield against Leicester on Thursday.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
It's up to you.
Leicester by 2.
Even more. They have come good over recently.
And they've got decent records at Sheffield.
Sheffield by 4.
Can I go 3 for 3? Draw.
Okay. Ipswich against Northampton is the next one.
Oh, that's mine. Ipswich by 18.
Can be interesting to see how the new riders. I mean, Adam Ellis.
He knows that trailer.
He knows that
He'll
track
have a point,
very well.
might have a point to prove
Yeah.
as well. So
I'll say Ipswich by 8. Northampton have done well at Ipswich this season.
I'm going to
a
go
couple
for
of
Northampton.
times.
I'm going to go for Northampton win. Northampton by 2.
Okay.
You can probably see now why I'm 10th, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is in the National League. That's Kings Lynn Young Stars against the Edinburgh Academy.
Kings Lynn versus Edinburgh. That's up to me.
Yep.
I'm tempted. I'll say Kings Lynn by 4.
I'll say Edinburgh by 2.
Kings Lynn by 8. Go for it, Chris.
Okay, Friday night in the Championship, Edinburgh against Glasgow.
That's up to you, Pat.
Yeah.
Edinburgh by 4.
I'm wondering whether to do. You'll go
Edinburgh by 2.
Edinburgh by 2 as well. I lost my own conviction then. I was going to go for a draw.
Yep, okay. Next up on Saturday in the Championship, it's Berwick against Poole. Of course, Berwick beat Poole by 20 in the Cup, didn't they, a few weeks ago? So
Robert Hacker, I will come back to that question that you asked. Sorry, who was it again?
Berwick against Poole in the Championship.
And it's up to me, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Berwick by 2.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, actually.
Well, I know what I'm
Berwick
Lost by 20 there early in the season,
I
didn't
know
they?
what
So
I'm talking about, you know what I mean?
I'm going to say Berwick by 2 as well.
I'll say Poole by 2.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
There could be a big turnaround this week.
Yep. Middlesbrough against Buxton in the National League is the next one. That's on Saturday night.
Middlesbrough by 8.
Middlesbrough by 12.
I'll go for Middlesbrough by 6.
Okay. Then on Sunday afternoon, Buxton against Kings Lynn. That's in the National Development League as well.
That's up to you.
Buxton by 4.
Well, I wondered whether you was going to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Buxton by 2.
I'll say Buxton by 3.5. No, 4.
Okay, and your last fixture of the week will be in the Premiership on Monday night, Bellevue against Kings Lynn.
It's up to me, isn't it?
Yep.
I'll go Bellevue by 4.
Bellevue, Kings Lynn, you said, didn't you?
Yep.
Bellevue. Did you say Bellevue by 4?
Yeah.
Bellevue by 18.
I'll go Bellevue by 24.
I was going to say that, but did you say 14?
Right, and that is...
Is it? Well done. Keep your votes coming. I
Yep.
think maybe... Who's in front?
Right, so Robert Hacker has asked, I presume, me since I made the comment, can you name the people who are running the sport into the ground? Not by name. I can name them as an entity, though.
Yep.
BSPL. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't argue with it.
Yep.
We have. Just look at this now. This fixture list in front of me.
Yeah.
We have 3 leagues, and there are 10 matches.
Yep.
Does that not say it all? I know there are other circumstances and things that have happened, and we are a sort of a cap-in-hand sport where majority of us use other people's stadiums and stuff. But there have been answers to all of these problems if they'd acted early enough when they had the chance, instead of always acting in the interests, understandably acting in the interests of their own club, because of the way that it's structured.
Yeah, nobody's saying that promoters aren't well-meaning. They are
absolutely,
they are well-meaning, but unfortunately, their priority, right, as you say rightly, is going to be to protect their own club.
So you need a structure where they try to protect their own club, but at the end of the day, an entity, whether it be an oligarch figure or
board of directors,
whatever, that are not connected to clubs, have the final say and do things that are in the interest of the whole sport.
Yeah.
And that's the only way this is going to work in the current climate. It's just the only way. It's the American model, essentially, which I'm sort of usually against, but this is the only thing that's going to work. Lynn have some riders who ride Bellevue. Frick, Ben Cook,
Kvech, Harris. Yeah.
This won't be a big home win. We shall see.
Yeah. Phil Taylor says still no news of the Coke updates in the Championship and do the BSL not take the supporters of Berwick and Plymouth into consideration regarding travel and accommodation. Both sets of supporters will have to make for the away league. So that's a fair point. And again, Pete Clark asked the BSPL why Wade, Isle of Wight and Mildenhall are now riding under a different organisation. Well, we've had the Isle of Wight promotion on the show a couple of times, haven't we? So
we have. We probably should get them on again.
Yeah,
all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can.
Dave tries his I could run the leagues.
Yeah, he'd probably do a better job, actually.
Not sure about that. Me and the AI are not best friends.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realise that they're watching an hour show.
Yeah.
The biggest, most damning. Is it a statistic? I don't know because I haven't got the actual figures. The fact that I can put out there that shows that it's not working is this. If I talk about Speedway to anybody outside of this room, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. They don't know what it is. They've got that. And when I say it's motorbikes, it's like, oh, well, I'm not interested in that thing because they think GPs and things like that. Yeah, and that's the most damning thing I can say is how can you be promoting a sport correctly if nobody bloody well knows about it.
Well, it's quite damning, I think, as well that we hear talk from people up in Manchester that there's a lot of people in Manchester who don't know that Bellevue exists. Bellevue is probably the most famous club in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the most iconic name. It's the one with probably the most amount of history behind it, and it's got a fantastic stadium. And yet, a lot of people in Manchester don't think it runs anymore.
I was getting right up until last year. It happened last year again, the last year of Birmingham.
Yeah.
I used to go to watch Birmingham Speedway, but they closed down in the 80s. Yeah. And to be fair, we've been out on the paper, we was in the radio, we had a little bit of television, but...
Yeah, I mean, Robert Thacker's just put. Yeah, I mean, this is a fair point. I mean, he's mentioned there about Saturday nights. I think that's the one thing that Speedo does miss is regular Saturday night racing.
Absolutely. Phil Taylor says franchise the sport is possibly the best way forward. I mean, that's essentially what we was talking about. It's like the American model. You just need somebody to finance that.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank Grant says Glasgow had loads of Polish fans attend when we had the Master Network Lodz GP reserve in our team. Also, massive attendance by Polish fans when we held a GP Poland test match a few years ago.
In the heyday in the 60s at Sun Street, Stoke Speedway, Mike Parker and Reg Fearman were proper promoters, never missed having a meeting Saturday night, even when Stoke were riding away. Every week, Speedway.
Well, at one point, I mean, even when you had the big British League in the 70s, even if your team was riding away from home, most promoters would put something on at the home track, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they wanted just get one meeting and get a source of revenue in. So,
as I say, we have as far as motorsports go. I just think we have all the advantages over all of the other sports. So, other than the way it's run. Pete Clark says, I keep buying lottery tickets, fingers crossed. I think you might need more than that, to be honest. Whoever decides to take this over as a franchise needs to have deep pockets for a while.
Yep.
I actually...
Mike Sales there, Saturday night racing has benefited Plymouth. The attendance has virtually doubled compared to Tuesday.
In Polish leagues is not a bad idea for certain clubs. Bellevue, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Glasgow can because they're an FIM track, so...
I don't know how Ipswich falls in that because it's quite a small track.
Well, there has been talk about it. It's maybe staging EG.
So, if it saves the sport in the country, but to think there's only going to be 3 enclaves, I would imagine even if they did that, the other clubs they'd have to form one league, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it would be forced on them, I think, so...
But, yeah, interesting thoughts.
Yeah. Are we going to do the draw through we're going to be talking about next week?
We should do that.
Get the official cup.
Go on then.
The official cup. We've got a cup this week.
Official Birmingham City Cup.
Oh, God.
I thought it was a Scottish mug.
Am I drawing it this week?
Yeah, I drew it last week, so...
Let's have a look. Looking. Northampton.
Oh, well, that won't take long, will it, so... Well, there has been a Speedway Northampton before this year. Admittedly, it was a long time ago, but we'll have a little play about with that one then. So
yeah.
And you've got a minute to talk about why is Speedway not run by independent people?
I mean, it's the history of the thing, isn't it? It's history. I mean, it was the sort of history of speedways. It started off really not so much as a sport, more of an entertainment, and then so it's all run by independent promoters who suddenly said, "Let's try having a few matches against each other and do that," and the crowd loved it, and it sort of evolved from that. But it was always independent businesses, and it's caused a lot of problems through pretty much all of the eras, really. That model. So it's just the history of the thing. And people Oh,
No, no,
okay. I thought we was going then.
I thought he was dropping us a hint then. So.
no. You got another minute.
So, yeah, any more questions out there about that? But I think it's literally just historically the way it started. It didn't start off as being a sport, as it didn't in any other country. And in a lot of other countries, it continued to just be an individual thing where anybody could come and have a go, really.
Yep.
A good question. Has Speedway ever been run independently?
In this country, no. I don't think so. I couldn't tell you for other countries.
I think there's been attempts in the past, but they've never really come to much. Again, another example, isn't it? It doesn't work, so just get rid of it. So.
It doesn't work. We'll get rid of it. We won't try and make it work.
Yeah.
Won't try and find out what's wrong with it and what. Yeah. So yeah, it's.
And there we go. We have come to the
Oh,
end.
okay. But that's what needs to be sorted out. Eventually, there will be no promoters left, and then somebody else can come in and sort it out.
Pick up the pieces. What's left of it? So.
But I might not still be alive by then. Who knows? Okay, so we will talk about. We want to know all of your Northampton memories.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll try and get in hold of somebody from Northampton. I'm going to just put this over as well, just from Dave Twine. Johnny Hoskins was the key figure who arrived in England in 1928 with the mission to popularise Speedway in the British Isles, although the first UK meeting had been held earlier that year at High Beach in Essex. The sport in the UK was initially organised by the North Manchester Motorcycle Club and was controlled by E.O. Spence. Okay.
Good night.
See you soon. Enjoy your Speedway. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.